Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Pitch Talk.
We are fans of football dropping vlogs, videos and podcasts on the beautiful game.
Check out our videos on YouTube and Instagram's IGTV,
including special feature segments,
5 minutes with the G,
the straight shooting view,
coaching with JBK. We produce, record and edit video content
and audio on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
Verbal, Podomatic,
Anchor,
Spotify
and other podcast platforms.
Join the Pitch Talk revolution on Twitter, Instagram,
Facebook
and www.pitch-talk.com.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I can see you now. I can see you now and then. I can see you now.
Welcome to
Coaching with JBK. Welcome. It's yours truly, JBK. And it is the last roundup of 2022 of the WSL games. So 2 games were called off over the weekend, and we will be talking about the ones that were played. But just to give you an update on those games specifically, yes, and those games were specifically Liverpool versus Leicester City, which was at Prenton Park, home of Tranmere Rovers, and Brighton and Hove Albion against Everton at the Broadfield Stadium, home of Crawley Town. So those games were called off, but I'm going to talk about the games that were played, starting with Manchester's derby between Manchester City and Manchester United, a game that was back and forth throughout the whole, well, basically from minute 1 to minute 90. But Manchester United taking the lead with Leah Golton with the goal in the 27th minute, followed by Laura Coombs with a goal in the second half in the 58th minute. And it was a back and forth game. You never knew which way it was going to go, but it did get to a point where you know that Manchester United wanted to get the win as they did against Arsenal, and they're possibly hoping that they can do so again in the coming months. They've definitely got a hand in what is to come. But hopefully Manchester United have taken great pride in their performance against a top side in Manchester City. Moving it on, and we also had Tottenham Hotspurs versus West Ham United at the Brisbane Stadium. A lot of action in the second half, some of it in the first. There was a penalty that was given as well in the first half, but not necessarily anything worth noting. Then the first goal came in the second half on the 49th minute. Brynjarsdottir got a goal. And then with a breakaway goal by Sissoko in the 83rd minute, giving West Ham a 2-0 win over London rivals Tottenham Hotspur over at Brisbane Road. Then we move on to the next game of the evening, which was Aston Villa against Arsenal at Villa Park. Aston Villa doing themselves justice by taking the lead in the first 6 minutes, with Hansen scoring the goal in the 6th minute. Then a goal in the 26th minute by an own goal, specifically in the 26th minute by Rachel Corsie, giving Arsenal a nice little foothold and an equaliser that possibly wasn't there at the start, but then came. And then 4 minutes later, Miedema with a goal just inside of the 18-yard, near, pretty much in line with the penalty spot, where she's taken a snapshot after a corner and walloped it in. Katie McCabe then scores in the 62nd minute, a team that she has scored regularly against in the past. And then Jordan Nobbs rounds it off in the 84th minute. This game was back and forth, but the result ended up being a 4-1 win to Arsenal. And there's a lot to be said about the teams who have had not just any support, but better support from the games that they had last season. They're now playing at the home grounds a little bit more, and you can see that there's a rise in attendance, which means that the games are only going to get better, and also the money will be filtered into the women's game a lot more. We move on and we go into Chelsea versus Reading at the Kings Meadow Stadium. Chelsea with a 3-2 win, but it wasn't all one way. If you look at the first half, you could possibly say it was, but in reality, wow, it wasn't. Frank Kirby with a goal in the 16th minute, followed by a goal in the 29th by Yankova. I may have said that wrong, so I apologise. In the 29th minute, and then a goal 5 minutes later by Yankova again, going forward to get another goal to make it 3-0 in the first half to Chelsea. However, second half, 2 goals in the space of a minute by Reading made the game a little bit more unsafe for Chelsea. Trossard with a goal in the 60th minute and Eichlin with the goal in the 61st minute, which gave it a nervy ending that it needed to be. But at the same time, you also think, wow, these games are going to be a little bit more closer in the future. Some of these games are a bit too open beforehand, and you're thinking, well, who is actually going to stop Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester United and Man City? Now you can see there's going to be some games where people are really going to put the metal to the sword. They are really going to be putting in some good games. But it is come to the final game of the year, where we now talk about, or the final podcast for the year, and the final episode of the year, where we talk about who has ended 2022 on top in the league tables. So we're not really going to be talking about the championship, as it wasn't played this weekend, but we will talk about the WSL. So going from 12th to 1st, we are looking at it from that point of view. Leicester City, who have played 9 games on 0. Brighton Hove Albion, who have played 8 games on 7. Reading, who have played 10, who are also on 7. Liverpool in 9th, played 9 and on 8 points. Everton and Spurs are both on 9 points, but respectively in 8th and 7th position. Aston Villa, who have played 9 and have 12 points. West Ham United, who have played 10, are on 15. Manchester City, who are 4th, who have played 9 games. Manchester United have played 9 games, and Arsenal played 9 games. But Manchester City on 19 points. Manchester United on 3rd on 22 points, and Arsenal on 24. Which leaves Chelsea, the champions, the current champions, on top in 10th position on 27 points. Now, this will be interesting going into next year, because Arsenal did finish the year last year as the top team, but couldn't sustain their push for the title. Couldn't sustain it. Will the same thing happen to Chelsea, or will it be a Chelsea win once again? We will see in 2023. And of course, it is World Cup year. The Women's World Cup is coming round in, the summer, really. So have a chance of watching. Please get down and watch a few games whilst you're waiting for the World Cup to come round. By all means, there are more than just the WSL teams to be watched. Please have a look. There might be a team in your local area who just needs a bit of an attendance to see your face at the game that they're playing. Your host, JBK, has been around for most of this year. I hope you guys have a great holiday season. Come up with any reflections and any moments that you feel were the best, not just from the WSL, but also from women's football across the world. What was your take on women's football going into 2021, and has it been bettered by the end of 2022? And not only that, is there a moment that you have actually enjoyed from women's football that you can say, you know what, I was there? I can tell you one for myself. I was at the women's final, the women's Euro final, and it was amazing. The crowd was electric. The game was electric. What a goal scored by Chloe Kelly to finish off the game. And what a game by both England and Germany. That was one of my moments of the year. I think somebody else will come up with another one that maybe topping it. That may top it. You never know. You might have met a player who was in the Euros. You might have met one of your idols who have joined another club, or you might have overseen a moment in time that nobody else can ever take away from you. Yours truly, JBK, is signing off with that. I'm going to see you guys in 2023. Yours truly is out. And peace. Join the Pitch Talk revolution.
Check out the official Pitch Talk website.
www.pitch-talk.com. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Pitch Talk.
We are fans of football dropping vlogs, videos and podcasts on the beautiful game.
Check out our videos on YouTube and Instagram's IGTV,
including special feature segments,
5 minutes with the G,
the straight shooting view,
coaching with JBK. We produce, record and edit video content
and audio on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
Verbal, Podomatic,
Anchor,
Spotify
and other podcast platforms.
Join the Pitch Talk revolution on Twitter, Instagram,
Facebook
and www.pitch-talk.com.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I can see you now.